Hi, my name is Joshua Moore. I'm a junior in the Applied Engineering Technology program here at North Carolina A&T State University. In this video, I'm completing my research on the effectiveness of the D.A.R.E program across the country. You will hear individuals from across North Carolina discuss how their knowledge and how their certification in the D.A.R.E program has influenced their decisions they continue to make in their everyday life. The D.A.R.E program is used in nearly 80% of the school districts in the U.S., in 54 other countries around the world, and is taught to 36 million students each year. Therefore, it is important to know if this highly popular program is effective in reducing alcohol and drug use. What is one thing that you remember or stuck with you during your D.A.R.E training in grade school?
Well, the one thing that stuck with me during grade school was we actually had an officer to come into our class. So one day out the month, we had an officer to come in and talk about D.A.R.E, talk about drugs. That was very important to me. I look forward to those, and I really enjoyed it.
How did your training influence your decisions when it came to alcohol and drug use?
Mm, well, I can say I'm not on drugs. With that being said, it stuck with me through time. I didn't allow, influences or people to get me on the wrong track or off my track. And those things kind of helped me to where I am today.
Do you think age matters when enrolling in the D.A.R.E program? For example, the younger you are, the more effective the program is on your choices?
I truly agree with that. If we can get our kids or whoever at a younger age and instill that information into them and what drug does and how it affect people, I truly, truly believe yes, the younger they are, the more impact it has.
Is there anything that you would recommend to make the D.A.R.E program more effective?
I really think they're doing an awesome job. I mean, everything is always, you can always use improvement in anything that we do. So, more education, put them back out there. I don't know if they're still in the classrooms or not, but if they're not, definitely put them back in the classroom and give them all the information that we can instill in them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is one thing that you remember or stuck with you during your D.A.R.E training in grade school?
The most memorable thing that I can remember about my DARE program in grade school would be maybe having a dog. I remember them having like a dog as their logo, sniffing around and sniffing out drugs. I remember having a police officer come to our classroom, us sitting around like in a circle, and talking about drugs, and then talking about how those drugs would affect our body, and not being as a not being a good classmate or good schoolmate, and not being able to fulfill our dreams and being able to be what we want to when we grow up.
Okay, good. How did your training influence your decisions when it came to alcohol and drug use?
I think over the years that training has stuck with me, along with my upbringing that I had in my household. But I always remember the training. I remember their logo, "Just Say No to Drugs." So I think that played a vibrant part um, of me making a decision not to do drugs. So I think it did stay with me throughout the years.
Okay. Do you think age matters when enrolled in the D.A.R.E program? For example, the younger you are, the more effective the program is on your choices?
I think it does make a huge difference. The younger you are, I think it's very important to talk to kids when they are younger before they really start making or able to pull out and make decisions about drugs, and it gets them to know more about it at an early age. I think also, though, it could also be just as effective not only to have it at grade school, but maybe to have it also in high school as well, to have the training maybe more than once throughout our years of education, not
Okay,
only in grade school.
great. Is there anything that you would recommend to make the D.A.R.E program more effective?
I think just going back on what I just said a few moments ago, I think I do remember having the DARE program and having the skill set and having the fun and just saying no in grade school. But I think it could be even more effective not only to have that training or skill set in grade school, but to have that more in high school, because we know a lot of times kids in middle school and high school, they're potentially could be introduced more likely at that time frame, while you still have face, or just you have the new those memories from grade school in your mind, I think it's important maybe to reinforce those at a later point in your life. So maybe one thing that could be looked at in D.A.R.E, if they're not already doing it, but I know I didn't get that, is to maybe reinforce that training again in high school or later on in life, while we're still in school. So that would be my one recommendation.
Okay, thank you so much. What is one thing that you remember or stuck with you during your D.A.R.E training in grade school?
Never drink and drive.
How did your training influence your decisions when it came to alcohol and drug use?
Well, the main thing was never have peer pressure. Peer pressure is something that, could get you caught up in, doing the drugs or drinking the alcohol.
Do you think age matters when enrolled in the D.A.R.E program? For example, the younger you are, the more effective the program is in your choices?
I believe so. It's always good to get started at a younger age, far as in trying to convince kids to don't do drugs or drink alcohol.
Is there anything that you would recommend to make the D.A.R.E program more effective?
Just more stricter parents. Keep an eye on what your kids are doing. Every now and then, try to test them and see what's really going on in their lives.
What is one thing that you remember or stuck with you during your D.A.R.E training in grade school?
My D.A.R.E training in grade school, the one thing that I remembered was the National Wear Red Day, where we wore red t-shirts and we were given red ribbons that said "Say No to Drugs."
How did your training influence your decisions when it came to alcohol and drug use?
The D.A.R.E program instilled in me that drugs were a bad thing. So it's instilled in me that in my future that I was never exposed to drugs, and if I was exposed to drugs, I was taught to say no to drugs. And also my family background also instilled in me to say no to drugs as well.
Do you think age matters when enrolled in the D.A.R.E program? For example, the younger you are, the more effective the program is in your choices?
Yes, the younger you are, the more effective it is.
Is there anything that you would recommend to make the D.A.R.E program more effective?
I would recommend the D.A.R.E program to utilize more videos, more hands-on things as far as drugs, the drugs that are sold in the streets, that they could bring them in and the kids could see what actually they look like, so they can notice what the things that are going on in the streets, and just still instilling them to say no to drugs.
What is one thing that you remember or stuck with you during your D.A.R.E training?
To say no to drugs, like during the line said, because he would say just say no.
Is there anything that you would recommend to make the program more effective? What will make the program better?
Making the program better would be like there would be no drugs or alcohol for people to drink.
To conclude this video, after interviewing with several individuals, it is proven that the D.A.R.E program is very effective, but could also use some improvements to keep up with the evolution of society.